All right, welcome back to Just Enough Garage. Today, we got 2 or 3 things to finish, Johnny. One being the exhaust we're going to try to build from a kit. We got some power steering components to change that pump, and some belt alignment issues from a previous video we will solve. So John, you know what today is?
A Friday.
And the first day of spring. You know what that means? I'm halfway through my time schedule. Does the car look half done?
It doesn't even look a quarter done.
We're doing fine. Everything's going to be okay. So what we got here is, we'll have to pull this off eventually. But if you want to peek in here, this is still all under the tarp because it has been raining. Today is the new alternator's on, the new belts, everything like that. I've got my power steering hose kind of like figured out. But when we went to remember I was saying in the previous video, I think it's 2 weeks ago, I put the alternator and there was some conversation and I said, we're going to tack it because that's not the alternator I'm using. And now I got this and there's just a little misalignment. But because I tacked it, we will be able to move that into the right location now and do that. That's one of our items. Over here, John, this exhaust system. I mentioned this earlier. I bought this before we even started the video for this. This was an Amazon like $70 kit, and it's 2.5-inch pipe. And then I bought those mufflers for $56 a pair. So let's put this up on here and open the box and see all the gems that come with it. I think I'll need a knife. So before I do that, this steel.
Oh, fancy.
So I sleeved that and soldered that. So let me explain why I am hokey. I didn't want to be hokey. My arm was being twisted into doing this correctly wrong. Fail success, something like that. 3/8 tubing. 3/8 tubing. Now I'm going to put a challenge out to my viewership. Can somebody use the internet and find a power steering hose that has a 3/8 tubing on one end and a 3/8 tubing on one end? You'll find this very easily, but then they're going to want to use a 7/16 on that end. Now, you guys recall from previous I had that little fitting in there, and you say, Darian, why don't you just go back and get another fitting to connect that? Well, as luck would have it, they no longer produce them, and the guy in the catalog said, yeah, I can't get them. Whatever we had on the shelf is whatever we had, and it was the size that I needed for there, but it wasn't the size for the back. He said, why don't you turn the hose around? It became a real issue. If anybody's dealt with tubing or hydraulics, you know what I'm talking about. So I had another hose. I just cut the end off, sleeved it, soldered it, and it's going to work for me. Now, this hose is not primo. It has some damage. And so now, if nothing else, I take this to a hydraulic place, and if they can do an inverted flare, they can make new tubing, crimp it, and they could reuse my old nuts if that's a problem. I'm not sure. In my local area, there was 2 spots. One laughed at me as soon as I said inverted flare, like, we don't even know what you're talking about. And the other shop was very helpful, but they were limited on what they had. So this is my solution. And I still have it apart because I'm waiting, and it should come in the mail maybe today, tomorrow. The little Borgeson kit that's going to reduce the Saginaw pump down to a reasonable 850 PSI that the Mustang 2 requires. It's a long way of saying, if you're going to build a hot rod, a street rod, a junk rod, a rat rod, and you want power steering, you either stay in the same lineup or you get creative. And I gotten creative necessarily, just like the alternator bracket. So let's let me get a knife and let's open this and see what we got for building an exhaust. Look, they're already starting to rust.
Oh, good.
So I did get this months ago. It comes with these 4-foot straight pipes.
Wow, fancy, fancy.
Is it just going to fall on the ground? Do I just start out like that? Okay, I'm not going to do it.
Throw it as hard as you can.
So the other day, maybe it was a few minutes ago, who knows, we were changing a battery on one of the cars. I'm like, this battery's junk, and I went to toss it down because I've seen other YouTubers do it. It wasn't as impressive as I've seen on YouTube, so it wasn't filmed. It doesn't matter. But you see this, John?
No.
This is so in case you wanted to do an exhaust site like this, maybe.
You wanted a snake exhaust?
Or you wanted to go over the rear axle, or maybe you wanted to turn quick. I'm not sure. It's had these 290s. These
You say 90s, but those are 180s.
They had these I'm holding the 290s, okay? It had these 290s, those two 180s, and I think these are 45s, maybe they're 22 and a halves. I'm not sure. So we're gonna have to, let's unbury that car, and I know that we have a 2-inch header outlet, and this is a 2.5. So maybe if we figure out what we're doing, we can cut this. We got the chop saw. You know, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put together. Now let's take a walk. This is the kind of exhaust I want on the car, so it's okay that I don't have to go over the rear axle because that's not the look I was going for anyways. Let's pull this piece of wood up here. Why didn't we just fix this already?
Why didn't we do a lot of things?
Why are we so busy with all the other stuff? Oh, that dang wood. All right, stand by while I secure the door. You think this is the wrong one for this?
Yeah, I think that's the wrong side.
We closed that door. We had to push it closed. Now does this have to go under it?
No.
I would think that.
So if you look at the shape of this, you'll see that this is wider than back there.
Look at this. This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is. Wow.
You're saying get the other one?
Yes.
So you're saying that would be the way to go?
Yes. I have a feeling that's the direction it's supposed to go.
Is there a spider web on my hand? Did the rain take care of all them buggers?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, why did you just put the running board on Darren? Well, because they got to know where the exhaust is going to come. So let's get a piece of tubing. My whole vision's coming together here. Let's just use this one.
Little dense a piece of macaroni. I am not spaghetti or penny or rigatoni.
Sure,
I am not lasagna or a fat slab of bologna.
So, story time with Darren. It's been a while since Mary's mocked me with the rainbow little story time book thing. All right, she thinks that's funny. Thank you, Mariana, for editing my videos. All the memes, if you like those memes, drop a note in the comments telling Mary you like all the little gingerbread, all the little jokes. It's kind of her antic. She's got a good sense of humor, and she likes to see me kind of like look like an idiot.
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong?
I don't know, it's the daughter-dad thing. Anyways, story time with Darren. I was working for this tool company in high school, John. And the guy that he would buy a lot of tools before you had your, like, well, anyways, they would be like special order tools, drill presses, lathes, whatever, and they would come in and they were always wrapped in this. And he says, Darian, make sure you wash your hands when you're done with that. I said, well, why? He goes, because I think the Chinese guys pee in that because their oil always turns it rusty. And I'm like, you think so? And he goes, I don't know, Darian, just wash your hands. I don't trust anything. And then, you know, maybe it has bat pee on it. I don't know. Anyways, I'll have to wash my hands is what I'm saying. So we get this piece of tubing, John, and this is what I'm thinking. Well, I'm gonna kneel down here on the wet concrete.
Well,
Somewhere I want the exhaust to do something like that. Now, do I want it to swoop back? I don't know. I would have loved to have had a big side pipe Corvette, but they were like $600, and I'm like, I don't love that idea that much. But I could do something like this. Come straight out, whether that's under, like, I don't think I want to do the Camaro look where it comes this way down, you know. You know what, you get on that side and I'll demonstrate how stupid my ideas are. You see, it's got like that little bit of a look like that coming out. That's like a big block thing. See, I'm a whiny little small block, so I think a side exit is what I want to do. Do I want it to be seen? Do I want it just to come out? Angle? Do I do a chisel tip? I'm not sure. Do I cut a hole in the hood and do a whole tractor pull? No, I'm not doing tractor pull. Anyways, that's what we're working on. I think let's uncover that, wash our hands. I think we're gonna have to go get some fittings right away to go from 2 to 2.5. And then we're just gonna go ahead and build a whole exhaust. I mean, it's nothing, no big deal. We could probably do it by, you know, before the sun goes down. Let's get started. So what I'm working on now is exhaust system. I'm not even exhausted, but I'm working on exhaust. And I've got this part welded on the collector, but look what I'm doing here, Mary.
Oh, baby.
Oh, I know.
Beauty, eh?
How could you not? I mean, how could you not? And there's welding in every single one. So I'm gonna do this straight pipe under the car. You kind of saw us working on it. And then I hate to do this to you, but I think the video's to the point of length that I'm gonna put a little more together
We'll
here.
show you when it's done, type of deal.
I can't do it tomorrow, and then all of a sudden my weekend's getting away. But I'll find some spots to do it.
I know it's only Friday and our weekend's full.
Well, you know, I'm helping a child move, and I had some other things, and we had a grandson here, and we had 4 dogs, and we had,
Yeah, it's like the grandson comes with 2 dogs.
and I've been busy all day, but I did get to drive in with the Jeep. We got to, you know, get the oil pressure on this. I got to make that 100%. I got the distributor set. I mean, we got a lot done, but this is the way these projects go.
And it's a nice day. It's not raining to beat
beautiful.
hell.
It's beautiful.
First day of
So
spring,
let me
right?
finish welding this, and then I'll probably show you some closing deal. Anyways, if you're a new subscriber, thank you very much. We're a very small channel. Lucky you, you get in on the ground floor and you get to see the glorious 90-year-old 1936 Oldsmobile being put back together. This was a street rod project from a fellow I bought south of Grants Pass, Oregon. It's had the Mustang 2 conversion, and that's it. I've been doing the rest. We got the 4-speed in it. We've got everything going. My goal was June, whatever the first day of summer is, 21st. I don't know, today's the first day of spring. I started this New Year's Day. I kind of got this stupid idea of having it ready to go first day of summer. So if you think you're gonna see it in the next few months, sorry.
That is in the next few months.
I'm not gonna be done in the next few months, but I could be early, I believe. Because what do we got left? The glass, the doors.
We can drive it without glass in the summer.
There's part of the doors here, here, and here. Brakes, fuel line, and exhaust, and wiring is kind of like my majors.
Oh, hey, Darian.
Yeah.
By the time we're done with this, are we ready to put a bed in the back of the 48 Ford?
Yeah.
So there we go. That's something.
I got
know it
wood
was
stacked up over
to
there
the
that was
pile.
cut on a 150-year-old sawmill last summer. There was a beautiful story with it. The 48 Ford, which my little brother had bought in 1991 or 92.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he
it.
was killed in a car wreck in 94. It has been under storage. Last year we did a video series on it. We restored a flathead motor. We got this running and driving. We actually finished that New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, because my goal was to be done by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And now this spring, summer, we're gonna paint it. We're gonna actually finish the restoration on that. These are all parts. So if you see anything you like over here, no, not the Oldsmobile parts.
Not the Oldsmobile stuff.
Not my cherry Oldsmobile headlights.
This
But
beauty.
But this Ford stuff I might be done with. I like old cars. I cannot lie. Let's weld some exhaust,
Let's
Mary.
say goodbye.
Not yet. Let's weld. All right. Lego.
Lego my ego? That's a terrible ego.
I do like this tubing, I'll say. If somebody wants feedback, the Amazon kit that was on sale for 75 bucks.
I think we need a couple compact mirrors and we have ourselves a nice periscope.
Smoking peace pipe too.
Yeah, or what is the horn called? No.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
The like the Ricola in the commercials, that horn. What's that horn called? I'm spacing.
Oh,
Yeah.
smoke came out.
Oh.
All right, so let me put this together, and I'll again probably just show you a little bit at the end. We'll get one side kind of done, and then it's the other side. This is a true exhaust because I'm not putting a crossover pipe in it. So it's really just 2 4-cylinders running in unison at that point. One completed exhaust system. No, not
completed caveat.
I need about 10 inches, 8 inches for that to come out in front of the wheel where I want, so I'll have to go buy a stick of that. But let me just lay it down because I don't have the hangers or nothing. So that's what it's going to do. This has got just a little bit of an angle that pipe, I would think,
We don't know, man.
is going to come out somewhere under the running board here, and it's just going to. I think I'll stick it out, and I'll do what we did on the Suburban, and I'll just put a little bit of an angle.
Make it
cut.
a flushy line.
But then I might try that where they squish them and make them square. I don't know. We could try some different ideas. So I think that might do it for this week. You know what? So we just uncovered this, and I was going to show you this. You can see right here that there's a little bit of a bend to that belt, and you can see that this is pulling down. When we got these belts, that's guitar string. Boom, boom. So we measured these, right? We put the old belt around, we measured them, but the old belt actually went in the groove. This is the alternator I got online, and it's just a slight, you know, it lined okay up with the other one, but this one's just a little bit micro difference. So we have to break these 2 welds, John, and just move it back. Just a fuzz, it should be okay. It should clear everywhere still. But because of this being so tight, I'm kind of concerned that it's going to fry the bearing in that thing, because we had to roll it on. And I learned something about this, if you're interested to know, John, after I thought about this. There's just such a little bit of movement here. If we had stood this up the other way and it welded this front hanging over, we would have had all this massive amount of swing, and it would have centered it maybe a little bit better. I mean, it looks okay. It's going to work. It's just, you know, after you make the cake, you always kind of wish you decorated it a little different, but whatever. So I think, I don't know, you guys interested in seeing that? I mean, I'll just show you the end. We're just going to cut those couple welds, move that thing, use the belt as the aligner, I guess, because we tried straight edges and all that, Jack, and it
just didn't line up right.
well, there's too much stuff in the way. This turned out good.
There's too much distance.
If you look here, these 2 belts are supposedly the same length, and this looks good. This is, dude, and it's the same deal.
Supposedly the same length.
So I guess what I need to do is when I measure these in the future, which I won't remember, but you guys remind me, to add a 1/2 inch to it, because I'm using an old belt that's already stretched and it already has some material wore off of it, and it's a different manufacturer. All right, anyways, let's move on. Just an update there. Let me go ahead and just grind and weld that and be done with that part.
What you got there?
Well, first of all, Mary, say hello to the people. Some people may not have met you. We've had a lot of new subscribers. This is Mariana. She's my 3rd daughter. She's my editor. She's my email person. She's my computer. You're CEO of computer stuff.
Oh, what a title. I'll put that on my resume.
I am CEO of Fabrication, Frustration, and Finance. I got the triple F's going here this morning.
I was going to use a different F word.
Yeah. F is for family. That's copyrighted. All right, what did I got here? Okay, I don't know that I showed it. On my alternator, I showed you the problems. I've redesigned it. I've made it go, instead of flat, this. That gave me more arch over here.
It looks like a medieval torture thing, or like a batarang.
Yeah, well, now you can see why I didn't weld it on here, but you see all this grinding dust? That's why I try to keep it out of the motor. We're gonna have to vacuum. Anyways, what this has done, by this putting it like this, when the alternator's in there, I have more sweep. So
Here, hold it by that hand so they can see down here. Yeah.
Well, they've seen it before, Mary.
I know, but you've done some stuff to it since.
Anyways, when I put the alternator on now, it actually is not a real bugger to get this on, and I'm hoping that when I actually welded it, it stayed true. Anyways,
He's helping future Darian.
you get 2 faces of disappointment in this video. That is the disappointment.
Look at his paint job.
It's too cold out here. I couldn't find the flat black. I guess I used it all. So you're not getting it. You're gonna get it next week. Anyways, I'll clean this mess up. The orange paint. I thought, oh, I'll just paint that to match. But now it's just like. But then again, I've got all this grinding dust I gotta clean and weld splatter. Bill Carly said, have fun. So you remember how 5 seconds ago, John, I was gonna tell the people I was gonna go ahead and grind that off.
Yeah,
Then it occurred to me that I have all these open orifices, and I don't feel like grinding a bunch of metal into my engine. So I said, well, I'll put the valve covers on. But then I'm like, well, I should really make sure that there's oil pressure in it. And then I'm like, well, if you're going to do that, we should actually go ahead and put some oil in it. So I'm going to put some oil in it. Then we're going to turn our homemade tool that came out of a big block Chevy some time ago. And that homemade tool, I've never used it. So we'll see if that works. We'll spin that with a drill. And in theory, John, we're going to get oil pressure up here by rotating the motor. But back here, right here, is the orifice for the oil pressure gauge, which I'd already purchased. So why don't we just do everything? We'll put the oil in.
God, why don't we just finish the car?
You know, I got too many things to do. Not enough time. Whoa. I bought this kit on Amazon. Everything comes on Amazon. Why? Because it's money. Money, money, money. But it came with the copper line. Wow. And it was already on there, you see. So don't cut it. I'm just going to make it work. But anyways, it has the, over here would be where the water temperature is going to go, because I didn't want to use this one. I'd rather do the head versus the intake. So I blocked that one off. We have this copper line. That's the piece I need right there to throw it in. This one, if I need it, will go right here. If I need it. And then the These are cheap gauges. I don't know what I paid for them. 25, 30 bucks, something like that. I know, made in China. I would love to have found some vintage Stewart ones or something to put on there. I couldn't do it, John. Why do I have so much stuff in my hands?
Because you got hands.
Hands. So we'll put the gauge on it. We'll put the oil in it. Then I wanted to set the distributor, but I didn't want to have to try to pour the oil in because I wanted to verify that we're actually getting oil up through the... I don't know anything about this engine. Remember, this is the motor that came with the car?
That's supposedly just a fitment motor.
Yeah, that's what was told to me. The guy said, hey, consider it a core. I don't know. He knew the man, but he was helping the wife sell the car and stuff, and they cleaned out the garage. And the guy was brutally honest with me. He says, most of the stuff I've been throwing away. And then we thought, well, maybe we'll try to sell the car. And I was like, he goes, I think I saved all the parts. I'm like, whatever. So I bought this car for a fraction of what they list for if you're going to go buy a 1936 Oldsmobile in rough condition. But I still paid more than you would have 10 years ago. Should I take that off or just leave that blue on there?
What, do you like the blue or do you like the
I
silver?
do like the blue. All right, let me hook this junk up and then...
And then we'll get back.
Yeah, it'll be a few minutes.
Having fun yet?
Well, yes and no. So, this needs to thread into the back of the block. Okay, come around here where you can see. And if you have an accelerator by Wyan that's 45 years old, you see how that clears?
Just so nicely.
But it doesn't, because when you go to thread that in, now it's interfering. So we have to put a piece of pipe or something in there, John, to stand that up. So I was looking over here, and this is why you keep a bunch of parts around. If you come hither, will this stand right there work for me?
It looks very...
I can.
It looks very like it's supposed to.
So let me get a wrench. What is that, 7/16?
I don't know, I ain't good at fractions.
Well, I am. See?
Good for you.
So let's take this one out of the old... Maybe we should have just put this motor in. It seems like it was more ready to go. Oh, wait, it doesn't run.
Yeah, I was about to say, what about that valve we looked at?
Well, you don't need 8 cylinders at the price of fuel. Fewer is better, right?
I think there's a reason they don't make 7-cylinder engines.
All right, let's see what we got here. I think I'm gonna need to get a little wrench for that.
You need to get some brake clean for that.
All right, we'll clean this and we'll see if it's gonna work. You clean this, I'll go get a wrench.
All right.
You know what I like, John? Besides the wind's picking up, you know what I like?
The fact that it's getting darker.
It's how we never get our table clean from all the previous experiences. Anyways, you get yourself some wrenches like these, and one of those is gonna fit this. This one? Oh, buddy, first time.
Is it this one?
No. Let's see. It's a 5/16. To the vise.
Yay, Vice.
All right. Box in it is.
And you still round it off.
Probably gonna.
Man, brass shouldn't be this hard to each
Somebody
other.
40 years ago did a good job.
Didn't want it leaking. You'll
All right,
never
so
guess.
that's what that looks like. Does that match the other end I already have? Let's go check it out.
Maybe.
And while you were cleaning that, I started putting out some exhaust pipe to kind of get like a vibe on what's going on there.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the wrong end.
totally not going to work.
That's not the one. Where's the one?
I left it over here. Okay, you know what we've accomplished with this?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
It was in there. It's the wrong end, though.
It's all right, doesn't matter. To the store, Jonathan, to spend money.
You just need to get a fitting for whatever to whatever.
Exactly. I just need to get, this is pipe, probably 1/8 inch. So I need to get a piece of pipe that's 1/8 inch, and then a coupler with his 1/8 inch, and then I can get it up here. Maybe I can even get an elbow. Oh wait, I can't turn it. No. All right, to the store, because I can't. There is a poem, and somebody, if you can find it, link it. There's a poem about a farmer who goes to go plow his field, and as he goes there, he sees that the tractor has a flat tire. So then he goes to the shop and needs to get his air pump, and all this stuff happens. At the end of the day, he does not get the field plowed because of all these distractions. I wanted to change the bracket, but I wanted to put on the exhaust. I wanted to put the exhaust on, but I thought, well, I have the welder out to change the bracket, but I don't want to change the bracket without covering this up because I don't want the grinding to go in the engine. But I can't put the grinding in the engine because I want to put the oil in because I want to put the oil pressure on, but I can't put the oil in the oil pressure because I got to put the fitting on because I can't put the fitting on because I don't have a piece of pipe. Let's go to the store. In case anybody wants to know, yes, the sunroof leaks. The seat will be wet. Oh, it's not wet today. Let's talk about those windshield wipers, John. Remember underneath you'd filmed that before? So there was some conversation about using some boat windshield wipers. I've ordered those. They're on the way. We are using the pink wheelies from time to time, and I got a system, so that look for an upcoming video on that, or at least an update. Anyways, we'll get back to the house. We got the parts we need. We're going to make this thing kind of like get some oil pressure. Okay, been to the store. Spent 10 bucks on 5 and 3 or something like, I don't know. Then on the way back, of course, you saw a little video of us driving the pink Jeep. Great. We just, after we turned off the camera, there's a piece of the road that was flooded, and we're going through slow and easy like you would in a stupid street rod pink Jeep, and some guy wanted to blast through. I'm like, oh, that what we're doing? Splashing the old classics today? Goofballs. Anyways, this should do what we need it to do, John. We're wasted the whole afternoon going into town and getting the stuff. Come on, buddy, go in there now. Oh, baby, go.
He doesn't like you.
What are you doing, dude? Are you not? You should be pipe thread.
It is brass pipe.
Yeah. It's just that aluminum's hanging back too far, I bet. Yeah, we're going to have to put an earplug or something in there and sand that because I don't want to take the intake manifold off. That's exactly what's happening. See that edge?
So, having fun today?
Go ahead and call it the face of disappointment. I am disappointed. Okay, so you guys all learned a lesson. Put this contraption in before you put the intake manifold on. But had we known that weeks ago, so yeah, I'm gonna have to like somehow file that with the Dremel tool. We're gonna have to jam something in there to catch all. Use the vacuum cleaner. Stand by. We're just gonna do that. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna catch you in a minute. All right, dental work done. We found 2 wasps today, John. They're coming out of here somewhere. So now I got dental work done. We used the vacuum and a paper towel nipple. Removed said paper towel and threaded this in.
Ah, come on, you should have left it in there.
Yeah. I tell you, if you work on this vintage stuff, you gotta be prepared to modify it.
Well, you just have to know what you're doing.
I do know what I'm doing.
I'm modifying it.
I'm threading that in. It feels like it's enough. So if it leaks, I can tighten it. But if I go, oops!
Whoops, now it's got no threads.
Yeah. You got a lot of leverage on a wrench sometimes. I thought you fit there.
No, clearly it's a different one.
Is it the one in my
Pocket?
pocket? God. John,
It doesn't look like it.
if you can avoid getting old, don't get old. Your brain stops working. And the thing is you stop learning.
My brain stopped working a while ago, though.
But you stop learning. You're like, you could do this. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to do that way.
No, that sounds like a dumb way.
All right, so because this is fragile as can be,
We're going to fiddle with it a couple times so it
I'm going to try
breaks.
to avoid fiddling with it too many times. It just needs to be assembled once and forgotten. All right. buddy. Okay, now is that wrench I had in my pocket the right one? No. Is the wrench over here on the wheel the right one?
No, part
No.
2.
Alright, never mind. You know what? I'm going to find a wrench. I'm going to show you what we're doing later. I'm just going to do it. 10 millimeter, John. That's what it takes to put the Chinese tubing on the gauge. 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
I don't want to come across like I'm in a bad mood, but I'm exhausted, and we haven't even started the exhaust yet. From all the fiddly little time and the little time meters and the little... I mean, it was nice going for driving the wheelies. It's nice talking about past projects, but I want to finish this one.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Okay, so it's got its 5 quarts,
Yeah.
plus a new oil filter.
Yeah.
And look at the wind, it's just blowing everything all over my yard.
Of course.
Move into the shop, Darian. Well, then I have to get rid of my storage. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing to work.
Yeah.
You guys ever notice when you have a funnel, you could let that sit there for 2 months and it still have oil on it? Hey, what's up with that?
It doesn't like you.
I could sell that. All right.
Wow.
Now, this is where I mess up the cable on that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably have to rotate it.
Probably.
Rotate it. Okay, so I'm on the timing mark here. So I'm going to rotate it some. Because if we go around twice, we'll be back to where they were in time. So we just have to count our rotations, John. Let me find a rotator here. Use this one. We could put it right here.
Great.
Okay, that's somewhere different than it was. See, I got the mark right there. Alright, let's see what happens when we rotate it now. So I got 2 of them putting out oil over here. How many you got?
3.
Oh, nice. That's the better side. I got 2 left on this side that need oil. What do you got?
I've got 4 left.
Alright, let's give it another. Yeah, those lifters have probably been 18, 20 years since they've had oil in them.
That one was about to start.
Well, then it will. Let me get you a rag so we're not oil soaking everything. You put the rags away, didn't you? Good man. I like
What?
the way you cleaned up.
The wind was blowing them all over the
That's
place.
all right.
I figured the new rag shouldn't be.
Here's an old dog blanket rag.
Yeah.
Oh, good. A wrench fell. I couldn't believe it. A wrench fell, John.
I
All
did
right.
it.
You know, even if I finish this and I get oil up to it, I still can't bolt the valve covers on permanent because we have to watch to make sure the push rods are rotating when it first fires. So,
Man,
I mean, I'm kind of wasting my time actually.
You got a lot of problems, sounds
But I
like.
can set the distributor. And once the distributor's set, then I won't.
You know there's only 2 flat sides on that, right?
Yeah, but somehow this is a wrench that automatically adjusts. Oh, automatically adjusts, and it was getting weird on me, so then I thought I was being... Okay, look, dumb, all right?
I know, I'm just pointing
Sorry,
it
you
out.
had a dumb parent.
Yeah.
You're always pointing out my flaws.
It's funny.
It's funny for a kid who lives in my basement with no rent.
Why, you got any left?
Yeah, they're starting to cry a little, but they're not streamers yet.
I don't think you're gonna get a streamer out of this.
Okay, so how many times did I go around?
I don't think you've gone around fully once
I don't
yet.
think I have either.
I think you might
I can see it right coming up.
be close, but yeah.
I'm about ready to quit, John. I'm a quitter. We got enough of them that probably could start the motor when it's time. And
Well, everything's pre-lubed, so
okay, so there's once.
nice, nice.
I got 3 that aren't cooperating yet.
Which 3 are yours?
3. Well, you got 2 front ones.
I got 2 front ones.
And 1 in the middle.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, we just got to find that spot where those ones want to be happy.
Hey, at least it's even about it's not wanting to do it.
Who needs oil pressure on the top end? Well, the drill's smoking hot. That's a good sign.
All right, I think
Let me
I'll...
just bring it up to 0 one more time and then call it a day, because it probably will never get it till it runs. I mean, that thing's only going to spin at a few hundred RPMs. We might need a few thousands RPM.
Ah, so what you're saying is a faster drill.
Yeah. There we go, about 12 before.
Yeah.
Let me give it a buzz. Let me give it a zzz. How many you got over there, Johnny?
I got one that was starting to do it and then stopped at some point. Well, it's not doing it at this angle. Anyways.
That's all right. This car's turning into a Meatloaf song anyways. What do we got? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So let's see, if there's 8 cylinders, 2 per cylinder, that's 16. And if I take away 6, that's 10. So 10 out of 16 ain't bad. I want you, I need you, but I'm never gonna love you. So don't be sad, because 10 out of 16 ain't bad.
Yeah.
So let's put the distributor in and cut that alternator off. Oh, yeah. Come on, you bugger. Oh, yeah.
Having all the... That's probably why. It's probably leaking around that.
Because I didn't have an O-ring there? No, it's right there, John. It was not it. Anyways, let's, you know what? Let's just move forward. We know we have oil pressure, good oil pressure. And we need to get on with the exhaust, dude. This is all secondary stuff. We're wasting the valuable watcher's time.
Al?
Why is there oil on the floor? What is going on here? Start right now. I'm always ready.
It's already filming, so...
You see that mark right there, John?
No.
This is used stuff I have. Okay, fine. This is plug 1. How you know?
Look at this. This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is. Wow.
Well, because I know, because it's long. But anyways, this GM distributor, this coil connection you'll see on here, there's the plug that goes down to the pickup. Then you have your tach and your battery. Battery is like ignition in. There's a coil under here. Okay. How does this electronic GM distributor work? I think 1974 was the first year. What you want to do is not forget to put your gasket on. If you do, then you'll have an oil leak. And this distributor, when they say, oh, you want it to point to number 1 cylinder.
No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
I'm going to explain that. Number 1 cylinder on a small block Chevy is this front one, because it's the leading cylinder. If you see that there, the V is offset. 1 cylinder bank, you can see back here, they're offset. Okay. Whatever engine you're working on, the leading cylinder is the one that's forward. So if it was a Ford, it would be the leading cylinder on this side. GM's over there. Okay. So what you want to do when you point at number 1 is you want to rotate this. It doesn't matter whichever one you pick as number 1. All you need to make sure is that you have a compression stroke. You see, that's the 0, that's 12 degrees before. Number 1 plug would mean that it's up here on the top, both valves are closed, and it's ready to fire. So I need to make sure I get spark to those cylinders that have both valves closed and ready to fire. When you set your distributor, this vacuum advance needs to rotate. That's how you time it. You see, if this is connected with the cam and I'm rotating this, what I'm essentially doing is rotating this cap between here or there. Is I'm advancing it slightly where the rotor is in contact with the pin inside. 8 of them, right? Where the pin inside. And then I also am going, okay, if I wanted it just ahead or just behind. So when they say you want to align it number 1, that's physically pointing at it, but what they're really saying is you physically are pointing at the spark plug terminal. And this is where everybody typically does it the same way, so that when somebody else wants to work on the vehicle, it is. Now this has a notch right here. The cap only fits one way. So you got to put the cap, you see that notch right there on the D-dad? So I'm going to put this on here. This is the magic of this GM stuff. Okay, so now you see the mark? Ooh, if I'm bending my gasket, I shouldn't have put it on first. Here, hold on to that half. And now I put a mark here. Okay. Now why did I do that? So now when the cap is gone, I know how to rotate this to what that is going to match, right? I got this visual reference. So if I'm going to put this in, then now this is the engagement. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the oil pump. Can you see down in there where the oil pump is running? Yeah, see, it's running this way. So you see on the bottom, you see how that is not going to run the same way always. Because, so I have options. I can turn that to align it. But once it goes into the gear, watch what will happen. As this starts to engage in, you see how that rotates? That's in the cam gear. That's what I'm worried about timing wise. But you see it didn't fall down, and it's not going to fall down because it's on top of that oil pump shaft, not embedded properly. So you have, this is the easiest way I know how to do this. Okay, let me get rid of that. There it goes. It did fall in, but you see how far off I am? If I can rotate that back, then I'd be like, oh, okay, that would work.
Yeah.
But you remember this cap we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And remember how I said I wanted it on that side? Well, is it on that side now? Because there's the notch, there's that. So if this was to go on there, okay, so you see my notch? Let's see if we can get it to embed. I think we're too screwed up. This thing, of course, is now in the way.
Well, because isn't your
Where's
notch?
Here is the notch, yeah.
So, it's somewhere.
Alright, so there's the notch. Okay, that's in. But you see how the distributor doesn't look right? It should be over this way to look right.
Yeah.
See, so if it's over that way, which would be correct in the engine bay, now look how far off my distributor is. So then so what you do is you lift this up slightly, and you rotate this back. Okay, so now I've created that problem that I was trying to create a solution for. I'm in the gear, right? Because when I lift it up, see how it rotates? I'm in the gear. Now, I want this actually like that. So I'm going to go one more gear this way. Not enough. I need to go back 1 tooth. There it is. So now if that came straight down, we'll try it. How are we going to try it? You watch the distributor. I'll show you what I'm doing. Now I'm not worried about my timing marks because I'm engaged with the cam. So if I rotate the engine, it should just walk itself right down as it aligns with the oil pump. Okay, so let's just get my wrench proper here. There it goes. Okay, so now you say, all right, Darian, but now you're off on your mark. Well, that's okay. I'm just going to rotate the engine backwards, and it's going to line up with the 0 mark where I put it at 12 degrees advance. Right there. That's 8. Let's go just a couple more. We'll use the timing light, but this will get us close. There's 12 degrees advance. Now, how far off am I?
A tooth.
No, because I'm going to adjust that slightly. So that had rotated on me. But see, now I've got this set up. Now, how does the cap look in the hole? Hold those wires out. Where is the right there?
Right there.
Right. Why are you not going together? Notch. That went right together. All I had to do is swear at it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So in theory, I could move this back a little bit more, or I could move this one ahead just a little bit more. But we're going to do some adjustment there. So I think for now that I might just leave it until we, like, you know, I mean, who's to say? So that would snap on. It only goes one way. So it's going to be somewhere in this neighborhood. This is where its home is going to be. And that looks okay. I've got plenty of room at the firewall. It's in. Let's move on with life. So now I can rotate the engine all day long and I'm not going to lose timing. Assuming I haven't lost timing with all the times I've rotated it without that thing in there. So I think what we'll do, John, is we'll forget the wires for now. We'll just let this hang. We'll get going on the actual fabrication. The fabrication. It's no vacation. And then we'll do fuel lines and all that jazz later and finish this up.